Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for joining me again. I hope you guys are doing well. I wanted to go over this video. It's about the people that supposedly had a UFO crash or slash land in their backyard. Try to make this quick. There's a lot I kind of want to say about it, but just simply because so many people have chimed in on what they believe and all this, I just want to kind of set things a little bit straight, just because I've had some experiences that are similar to what you're going to see. Okay, so, and I'll explain that in a second. So let's go ahead and move on.
We first heard about the incident in early May via the Metro Police grapevine. The incident has a lot in common with other bizarre cases from around the world. An alleged crash, strange beings, and bits and pieces that don't make sense. But the police took this seriously, and so do we.
So George Knapp really kind of summarized it very well. Several different things happened, and yeah, it's really interesting situation. I know probably most of you guys have already seen this, and you're aware of what's gone on, but I want to make something very clear. This did not just happen. They're going to tell you when it happened. This was just released a few days ago. Okay, so I'll let you hear this yourselves.
Just before midnight on April 30th, Scott.
Okay, just before midnight on April 30th is when this started. This whole situation started. Now up here, the camera footage, the camera date here says May 1st. Okay, today is June 9th. So a lot of people were saying, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound condescending or anything like that. I'm just saying this because a lot of people were saying, well, how did this footage just get released? Well, it didn't just get released. It happened over a month ago. So no, it didn't just happen. All right.
Sky watchers across several western states saw a bright fireball streak through the heavens.
Okay, so I have seen several times where meteorites are coming down. I've seen them, flame up, all that stuff. They were multiple colors: green, red, bluish, aqua green, kind of like this. So what I want to say about that is this object is absolutely a metallic object that is not a metallic meteorite. If it were a metallic meteorite, it would have outgassing, or it would have eruptions coming off the meteorite, possibly even creating sparks or small explosions. And the reason why is because meteorites, the way they're compacted and put together, it makes them very unstable when they're heated. So as they're coming through the atmosphere and they're heating up to those extreme temperatures, they'll have these eruptions come off of it. Okay, I've seen one night. I was putting air in my girlfriend's car, one of her tires, and I see the ground light up all around me. I look over my shoulder and I see this meteorite falling. It was kind of almost like that. It was like an aqua green, bluish green color, and it had these sparks kind of shooting off of it, and then suddenly it just kind of exploded almost, and it just sparked everywhere. Okay, it's probably, I would give it maybe 1,000 feet, but maybe even lower, because after it passed over, I could smell this metallic. This is like a metallic smell in the air, and that's happened before. Like I said, I've seen several of these things. Now, looking at this, I see here that whatever this is, it's a very it's not having these eruptions, and it's the flame that's coming off of it or rather the plasma is what it is, but it is a stable material that is not outgassing, if that makes any sense. So, all right, that was just something I wanted to get out there. So people wondering if this was actually the object, I think it was, simply because of the stability of the plasma surrounding the object. All right.
Police officer working in the Northwest Valley caught a glimpse of the colorful object on his body cam. At nearly the same time, a ring camera in the area recorded a strange noise and what sounds
lights up the ground. sonic
family
boom.
living in a ranch-style home had a much closer view of the object. Two brothers and their father were working on a vehicle in their yard when they caught a glimpse.
Okay, so I have to break this up a little bit, just, for copyright things, but the people saw this object land about in this area, and then they saw the beings get out, walking around. I believe it didn't necessarily crash. I think they landed, maybe had some type of issue, but one of them got in this tractor and tried to interact with it. And apparently, whatever was going on, they fixed it, and they were able to leave before the police arrived.
Of a sparkly object as it came crashing down, then were hit by what they describe as a shock wave.
Okay, so the shock wave, yeah, because when you have an object moving at a high rate of speed in the atmosphere, it's going to create a shock wave. That's exactly what sonic boom is, right?
One of the witnesses, a young man named Angel, has stated when the brothers looked into the yard where the object landed, that spot was obscured and blurry.
Okay, so here it's explaining some type of technology that this object had, that's kind of slightly obscured it, made things look blurry. Probably the power source, maybe the propulsion, which we would expect if it had some type of exotic propulsion or exotic power generation in the craft, right? Magnetic or electromagnetic or something like that.
As if by unknown form of camouflage. What they saw next prompted a frantic call to 911.
So there's two people or two subjects that are...
And before this starts, I want you to know, remember, these people have already been looking at this object. They've already seen the beings walking around. The initial excitement is over. They've calmed down a little bit. So the person giving the description of what's going on is not, likely not as excited or maybe fearful as he was initially. So a lot of people are saying that they don't believe it because he was just too calm. No, this is why it wasn't first happening as he's describing this. They'd already been looking at this object. Plus, you can't judge what the reaction should be from every person. Everybody's different. We all have different levels of excitement, and we express it very differently.
in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it, and big mouth.
So the people in the background are telling him too, just reminding him, hey, they have big eyes, they have big mouth, everybody there experienced this. So I mean, how could this is the likelihood of this being some type of prank or a fake encounter? It's not very high, not very high at all. These people saw something very strange.
They're shiny eyes and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
So the person calling was probably one of the younger, he's one of the younger people in there, right? I think his name was Angel. The people talking to him in the background probably wanted him to call because Angel most likely speaks English a little bit better than they do. But at the same time, the people in the background are telling him the things that they saw, that they're seeing most likely. Angel probably saw this, but you know how it is. If you're just think about it. If you're talking to someone, you're trying to explain something, and everybody in the background is going through the same thing, they're all excited. They're just going to be, shouting out stuff. Oh, they got big feet. Oh, look at oh God, they have big eyes. So he's saying all these things that they are shouting at him, as he's talking to the dispatcher.
News Now investigators have spoken with family members multiple times in the past 4 weeks, but each of the 3 times we accepted their invitation to do an interview, they didn't answer the door or...
Okay, so the people don't want to talk. Most likely what has happened, and I'm just going to lay it out, and I don't want to make this too long. Most likely they had some government people come, and as it'll describe men in suits and sunglasses, take the footage that they took. I'm sure they took footage from their cell phones, but that footage was most likely confiscated, or they forced them to delete it, and told them, do not talk much about this, if or just to stop talking about it. I doubt very seriously that, actually, I believe they probably told them to stop talking about it.
Or their phone. These are some of the claims they've made in other public forums. Multiple family members backed up the story in an initial police report we obtained. Angel says they heard the patter of multiple feet in the yard. They later heard footsteps on their roof. They saw one of the 8-foot-tall creatures climb behind the controls of a large front loader stored in the yard as if trying to engage it. He got a good look at one of the creatures, he said, a greenish-grayish being with large eyes and long legs. He says he could hear its deep breaths, and when he locked eyes, he was, in essence, frozen in place, couldn't move. In the middle of...
Now, doesn't this seem very much like people encountering dogmen, Bigfoot, things like that? I mean, I'm not saying it's exactly the same, but these are same things that a lot of people say that they experience. They look at them in the eyes, they freeze. Are these things aliens that they saw? Who knows? Are they from other planets? Another planet? Who knows? I mean, we don't know that. All we know is these people experienced something that they've never experienced before. They saw something they've never seen before, a level of technology they've never seen before, and they reported it. Now, the other speculation that people have, whether they're aliens or not, we don't know. Alien being from another planet. Okay, could they be from the inner Earth? We don't know. All we know is that something came down in the yard and some creatures got out and started doing things, right? So, yeah. And also the craft left an impression right here is what it's about to say.
The yard where the object had crashed, then vanished, a circular impression was left in the soil.
Okay, where is this on your property?
Metro sources say the police dispatcher initially wondered whether to send a crisis intervention team to help the troubled witness, but then took the incident seriously. 2 officers arrived 38 minutes after the call, and by then had heard from other officers. They proceeded cautiously and managed some nervous laughs.
I ain't dealing with that.
A few days later, the family says, 2 Metro sergeants returned to the scene to ask follow-up questions. The family says they also saw men in suits and sunglasses driving in a car with government plates cruising slowly past the house in the following days.
Okay, so I do want to say there is a possibility that it could not be true, right? I don't think so, simply because of all of the events, the way they're recorded, the way they're explained, they all flow together. Okay, now the question is whether these are actually beings or aliens or beings from another planet. That is the question. I believe these people did experience this. I believe this, whatever this was, landed in their yard, and maybe it was having some type of issue, but apparently they may have fixed the issue. The craft probably was able to cloak, disappear in some way, and then leave without being observed. Okay, obviously when it was coming in, creating a plasma around itself, the light going everywhere and everybody's able to see it. Yeah, of course people see it then, but I think it was probably able to leave unobserved. I believe also that we're probably going to see more of this type of stuff. I think it is that time. The elite have been talking about this. There's plenty of documentation on how they were going to, do all of this stuff, at some point. So all I can say is keep your eyes open. Just be ready for anything. I believe this year is going to be quite a year. We've already seen a lot of different stuff, just strange things happening, with the fires and all this stuff in Canada. And it's just the smoke, whatever, this reddish smoke in New York. Yeah, I believe we're going to see some pretty amazing things. Just be ready, keep your family safe, keep yourself safe, and stay with God. That's all I can tell you. With that being said, guys, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and that post notification button. I'm going to be posting more stuff here. I'm going to be just bringing some things and just what I believe, more clarity to a lot of different things even as related to the Bible. So you can understand that the Bible isn't a mystery book or a magic book or just about some magic sky god, nothing like that. It is true science, and I can explain it to you very clearly. So, again, that being said, guys, take care of yourselves, and God bless.